All right, screw it. We're going to do this one live. We are going to do this post-game live, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to do this thing live. We should be good. Yes, sir. Let me clear my throat real quick. Oh, boy. I'm going to record this too. Nah, screw it. All right, we're all set. We're just going to start going even if whether or not somebody jumps in. Here we go. The Denver Broncos have won their most important football game of the season. This was the game that we had circled on our calendars all the way back to week 1. The Denver Broncos come out on top of a struggle with the Kansas City Chiefs, 22-19. And maybe struggle's not the word, but the Denver Broncos, man, you know, just the offense, both defenses made incredible plays. And, you know, the Broncos offense did what it needed to in a timely manner when they needed to the most. We are going to go over some of these numbers. We're going to go over some of the things that I saw from the game. We're going to talk about we're going to briefly touch on, you know, Bo and Troy, because my God, those two were good tonight. And then I will give out my game orange sodas coming up here on the Crushing It After Game Show, or the Orange Soda After Game Show. I don't usually do this one live. Usually I record this. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about Bo Nix and Troy Franklin, man. Good God, these two were good, man. These two were good. Bo goes 24-37 for 295. And if there was one thing that I noticed with Bo tonight, it's that he just looked settled. His feet weren't constantly frazzled. He wasn't constantly overthrowing a guy that was open down the field. No, Nix was putting the ball where it needed to be. Deep throws, intermediate. Nix was slinging it, and he brought his best against the Kansas City Chiefs. We will not be taking any more people onto the Bo Nix bandwagon. You already jumped ship. I'm not taking more of you on here. Broncos run game wasn't good, and we'll talk about that later. But let's get further into this. Troy Franklin, man. Troy Franklin made some huge catches in this game, including the big one that got the Broncos into field goal range. And of course, all the good plays are going to wipe off some of the bad plays. He did have a pretty crucial drop on a third down earlier in the game up to that point. But alas, Troy Franklin made some huge plays when they mattered, as did Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant was looking really good early in this football game until he went out with a concussion scare. He did return to the game, which was great to see. It was good to see him back. But Pat Bryant, man, he was good too. And this has just kind of gone into the stats and analysis takeaway sort of spot. But here we go. Courtland Sutton, 4 for 59. He had some big receptions, including a big one, big 3rd and 15 conversion that on that final drive that kept the Broncos moving. They converted a lot of 3rd and longs today, which is uncharacteristic of the offense, but I would like it to become characteristic. Evan Ingram was getting involved early, although his involvement did kind of fall off as the game progressed. 4 for 33. As that stands, RJ Harvey, 3 for 20. He had a nice drive where he caught a couple of balls, converted some first downs. Love to see it. And then Prentice had a 14-yard gain. They got the Broncos to a 4th and 2 that they were primed to go for until Mike McGlinchey decided to go Mike McPinchy your balls and shoot the drive in the foot. So that is, for the most part, the Broncos offense here. And we will talk about these rushing numbers because, and this was something that I was talking about pregame, the Broncos are going to have to figure out how to live without J.K. Dobbins, man. I'm telling you, R.J. Harvey, 11 for 30, that's not going to cut it in the future, although he was starting to get a little bit going as the game went along, but it just was not looking good for him constantly. Jaleel goes 6 of 19. He does have a touchdown, though, and of course, we like touchdowns around here. Good to see Jaleel back in the lineup as well. I was talking about that earlier in the game. And from a running back perspective, I mean, if that's your 1-2 punch, 49 yards on 18 carries from your top 2 running backs right now, because, I mean, the NFL is a next man up league. And if you don't have guys, then you're just going to have to make work what works, or what you have. The Broncos' run game was not good tonight, and it almost feels like we're back to 2024, where the Broncos' run game isn't doing half a shit, while Bo Nix is kind of out here getting the offense where it needs to be. It is what it is. All right, man. Bo Nix did what he needed to do. In the offense, man, the offense was so refreshing to see. My phone just rang, damn it. They go and they play defense with the offense. They did that on that final drive. They ran all that time off of the clock to keep Mahomes off of the field. They kicked the walk-off field goal. It is incredible. I'm going to rename this real quick. Okie doke. Okay, we've got it renamed. There we go. Let's kick it over to the defense because the defense was doing some good things too. It was a lot of bend, don't break. The Chiefs did hit one huge play to Tyquan Thornton, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But, I mean, hell, I will take this. Only 62 rushing yards from the Chiefs. I think they got away from the run a little bit. But the Broncos held the Chiefs. It's 5 for 13 on third down. That's not bad. 0 for 1 on fourth down. The Broncos got 3 sacks, and 2 of them were from a guy that we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes. Yeah, I mean, the big thing was penalties, and those penalties almost shot the Broncos in the foot, man. Riley Moss was getting called left and right. One of them was kind of a legitimate call. The other felt really ticky-tacky. You definitely had moments with Riley Moss. I'm thinking of, it was a really long one where Mahomes underthrows a guy, and Riley just gets handsy trying to get back to the ball. I mean, shit. I mean, at this point, Riley is just a grabby corner. He's going to get penalized, but that is still something that he needs to clean up, and I don't know if he needs to clean it up by rolling duct tape on his hands during practice or something and just figuring out how to cover without your hands, because as it stands right now, man, I mean, Riley Moss is getting penalized huge. He is a huge chunk of the Broncos' penalty yardage in this game, and they go 10 of 47, or for 147 on penalties. So despite all of the shots to the foot by this Denver Broncos team throughout the game, they were still able to overcome everything. Defensively, I mean, you played the Chiefs how you need to play the Chiefs. You got after Mahomes with 4 guys, timely blitzes with the defensive backs that really he did not see. Like I said, couple of big plays there, but I mean, still, the Broncos, you only allow 19 points. You give your offense chance after chance. You do what you need to do, and the Broncos defense did that today. They absolutely did. Even if it was a little shakier in the second half, they still did what they needed to do. Mahomes, of course, still has, a pretty Mahomes game. 29 of 45, 276 with a touchdown and a pick. And it should have been a pick 6 earlier on that drive. Yeah, the Broncos forced 2 turnovers in one drive, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. The rushing defense, it was okay. Kareem Hunt goes for 4.5 a pop there. Chiefs do get a little bit away from it. Travis Kelce ends the night with 91 yards. He only had 14 in the first half. So I don't know what adjustment the Chiefs made or if it was something the Broncos did, but I did notice, Jahdae Barron was doing pretty okay on Kelce. He did allow that one big 14-yard play to him. However, I thought Jahdae Barron was looking pretty good on Travis Kelce there for a little bit. I don't think he was really following him in the second half, which I thought was nuts. Tyquan Thornton had that big 61-yard catch that sets up the Chiefs' first touchdown drive, and man, I mean, this is going to be the one knock I have on Jaquan tonight. Jaquan just got Raheem Moored on that. He starts backpedaling too early, finds himself out of position, and just out of reach of the ball. Less than ideal, but what have you. Hollywood goes for 4 for 40. Rashee Rice, 6 of 38. Not a huge impact night from any of the Chiefs receivers, to be honest, besides Kelce, and then the one impact play from Tyquan Thornton, who is primarily a punt returner for him for the most part. And then defensively, too, for the Chiefs. I mean, they were good throughout the game. This was a back-and-forth game of just both of these teams making plays when they needed to. Connor ends up with a sack in the game. Chris Jones had a big sack as well that shoved the Broncos back a decent way. But the Broncos O-line actually still played rather well. Those 2 sacks came early in the game. And then after that, I mean, Nix was clean for pretty much the whole game, which was good to see. No turnovers forced by the Chiefs, which was huge for the Broncos, because if the Broncos just give the ball back on any of those possessions, that's bad. You lose this game if you turn the ball over. So credit to Bo Nix and the offense for not turning the ball over and for finding and taking the shots that they needed. And of course, again, Bo Nix, 24-37, 295, leads his 5th game-winning drive of the year in a tie game against arguably the greatest quarterback of our time in Patrick Mahomes, and he knocks the Chiefs to 5-5. My takeaways, I think the bye week, I don't think Bo Nix, I don't think it was broken. I think Bo Nix wasn't exactly, I think there was some fatigue that was playing a factor in that, but I also really think that, Bo's mechanics were all over the place, and I think it was a mental thing. I think the mini bye after, and I mean, you've got to think about all the road travel they did. It was 7 games, 39 days. You had a London trip thrown in there that you didn't take the bye week after because you wanted a later bye week. And you know what? I'll be damned. Broncos are going into the bye week 9-2. And man, what am I going to do next week with no Broncos on? Some other takeaways. Troy still got some developing to do, but I'm seeing why we didn't trade for a receiver. This is a good secondary that the Chiefs have, and Steve Spagnuolo, of course, is a defensive wizard up there with Brian Flores in the league. You know, those are kind of the 1A, 1B defensive coordinators for most people, and then I think VJ is probably somewhere in somebody's top 3. But I mean, Steve Spagnuolo was an outstanding coordinator. Nix was picking his shots and taking them, and Nix was dropping dimes. And so really like that, I mean, the bow to Troy is really like my first big takeaway. Like, that connection was here tonight, and I think they finally might be getting on the same page. Finally, we've been waiting for it, just for Bo and Troy to start hitting those deep balls that the timing has just been off for him lately. So it's really, really encouraging to not only see Bo Nix's progression in this game, and that's the other thing too, and I want to touch back on Bo Nix here. Bo Nix looked confident. Bo Nix was standing in the pocket. He was running around when he needed to, but he was setting his feet and he was just letting it rip. And that has been the biggest knock, I think, that we've really had on Bo, that has led to all of the inconsistency that we have seen lately for Bo Nix. And so seeing that get cleaned up and seeing him just come out, set his feet on a 3-step or on a 5-step drop and just let one go was incredible to see. And then you get to see the throw on the run action that he is capable of on that big 3rd and 15 to Cortland Sutton. He nailed that. These Broncos are going to be okay. We've clinched our first winning season. Bo Nix is going to be fine. Bo Nix just had a mini slump, and I think the mini bye was certainly enough to help counteract that. Also, the defense is still legit. Of course, forced a turnover. Shout to Jaquan. 4 sacks on the day. Shout to Jaquan for half of them. You'll understand why I'm talking about Jaquan McMillan so damn much here in a minute, obviously. But as it stands, I mean, my real takeaways, Bo Nix is a good quarterback, and I will not hear otherwise. I will hear no Bo Nix slander. The Broncos need to fix the fucking running game, because this is not going to work if it's going to be 59 yards of rushing and you only get 49 from your backs on 18, however many carries it ended up being. That's not going to work. The receivers, I think, are starting to come into their own. Pat Bryant is showing encouraging signs. The defense is absolutely legit, and they are still holding things together without Pat Surtain and now without Alex Singleton, who's recovering from testicular cancer surgery as it stands. Also, I mean, the special teams looked pretty damn good tonight. Frank Crum got a blocked field goal. Backup swing tackle, of all people, was able to get a blocked kick, which was incredible for the Broncos. Of course, you also get Marvin Mims with some huge returns to set the Broncos up. Like, special teams is a winner tonight. And then the coverage was really good as well. I didn't have any complaints about the coverage. So maybe the adversity finally got through to some of the coaching staff, and they finally got their shit together. That's going to do that for the analysis and takeaway. Oh, one more takeaway. The penalties need to get cleaned up. I did touch on that, but the penalties, I mean, 10 for 147 is fucking-doculous. We can't be doing that. We cannot be doing that. Hello? Okay. I'll be out in just a second, good? That is not for you. I guess I'm eating dinner on the post-game show. Ay. I guess we're going to try and hurry and wrap this thing up here. Little brother brought me some dinner. Yeah, we are going to hurry and wrap this thing up as it stands. My Game Orange sodas. Jaquan McMillan's getting the first one. Oh, I got to bring up the thingamabobber. Hang on. Yeah, I don't usually do these live, so we're a little frazzled here. Jaquan McMillan, he's getting the first Game Orange soda, ladies and gentlemen. 2 sacks, an interception that kept the Chiefs off of the board. He's getting one. Just immediately. No questions asked. Jaquan McMillan was the Broncos' impact player of the game. Bo Nix is getting one as well. Of fucking course Bo Nix is. 5th game-winning drive of the year. Played probably his best game of the year, despite the fact that he did not throw a touchdown. Nix was dropping dimes wherever he needed to, and he was putting the ball wherever the hell he felt like it, dropping it into the arms of Troy Franklin, floating it to Pat Bryant. He was doing it all. Bo Nix, my second game orange soda winner. Third one, a little random, Frank Crum, backup Broncos tackle. Man, the blocked PAT ends up being the difference of a 4-point game going for a touchdown and a 3-point game where a field goal can win it for you, man. Just absolutely incredible, and it is so bonkers that anyone in the National Football League can just pop up and do something, man. It is so nice. That was wonderful. Frank Crum's getting himself a game orange soda. If you see this, Frank, love you, buddy. Our next game orange soda is gonna go to a little bit of a deuce here. It's gonna be Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant, man. Both of those guys, second year and first year, between both of them going for 80 plus yards, 82 and 84 respectively. 84 for Franklin. Man, those guys were money tonight. They were absolute money. Of course, you know, Franklin did have the drop, but he does make up for it, of course, with some of those big catches on the final drive. Just wonderful for the guys. And then my fifth and final one, and I'm sure a lot of people saw this one coming too, is going to be ooh, frog in my throat, is going to be Marvin Mims. Big returns. He had a 24-yard return and then a 70-yard return that set the Broncos up on both of the possessions where they got those returns. Marvin Mims, without touching the ball on offense, comes out and right off a concussion protocol where he's been there for the past 2 games and just showing us why we need Marvin Mims. Man, Marvin Mims is an elite punt returner, and he was really the balance turning in this game. Outstanding work by the Broncos tonight. Great team win. I will probably try and touch on this a little later in the week with some shorts and stuff. I'm going to experiment a little bit with the way I do my content. But thank you everybody so much for watching the Orange Soda After Show. I'm going to go eat my dinner now that was brought to me kindly by my little brother and made wonderfully by my mother. And I will talk to you all later. Yeah, go Broncos. What a win, man. Keep Bo leaving. 8 straight, 9-2 into the bye.